I can't even do the ooh, 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 ooh. It's like a broken ooh. How do you do it? Like, you know how normally I'm like, ooh, yeah, welcome guys. And now it's like what's happening over here? What is happening?
You went for the 2 packs of cigarettes, huh?
Oh man, those cloves. I'm out of those cloves practice, man.
Oh, the fiberglass ones? Oh, no, thank you.
Those cloves are hot. A little mint. And they put a little hole in your mouth. You know, Mikey. You know. So obviously my voice is out of practice here. A little bit of a technical issue here, but I hope you guys are having a good Friday night. You're here with Munchies with Max. I am your host, Maximillian Mormont, Coach Max, the man, that one. I don't know, whatever you want to call me. But I had a horrible, like great day, great. Like the last couple of days have been amazing, like some of the best days of my life. And I've been coaching for 20 years. But really today I tried to in here. I was like, ooh, I got the answer. I'm going to give it a good look with a vibe and everything. And it just is disaster. Right now, if I wasn't trying not to curse as much, I'd be dropping like explicit, and then a couple more explicits. So, yeah, you actually left your earpods. So this is when you work from home and you do stuff from home. This is the issue. People come in and they just, come in hot like that, like it's no big deal. And they're like, hey, I need something, but I'm not dressed appropriate. And I got to just stop what I'm doing. It's not like, you five, my boy Wes, my boy Mikey, we're all here. I can't even hear me. All right. Well, so it's Friend Friday. And I'm a little upset because my friend that I brought on, like I was going to bring him on last Friday, but we had a great announcement last Friday. So I brought my bestest of friends. And then I'm bringing this friend on today. And I feel like he kind of jumped me, like this Friend Friday thing is like this day that I ask questions to like my friends that work out with me or at the gym. And then, or like a coach. And then all of a sudden, like he gives me a clap back before I can give him a clap back. And I mean, it was a nice clap back. I'm super appreciative of it. But he jumped the gun on me, and I don't know how I feel about that yet. So we'll bring him on. We'll talk first, and then we'll bring that up when I give him his clap back. So, Wes, come on out here for me. You gotta jump on out here. Why do I look like I have a part in my hair? Does it look like my hair is parted, Wesley? How are you, sir?
Doing good. It's been a good week. Good to be back.
Yeah. Back. What do you mean back? What's happening?
I mean back with people, back in the gym, get stuff going. It's been good.
Totally. Yeah. I liked Ryan's water bottle, 6 foot. I almost want to start using that 6 foot water bottle. Just make sure you can only spray 6 feet. You start getting near me. Whop. Hey. But yeah, it's been a blast, man. I like how grateful people have been and how excited they have been. And like, we've tried to facilitate everything we can to making sure they can get in. Right. I mean, we put satellite boxes in, and we're talking to somebody to come in and wire it and put another TV in and a PA just for 3 boxes. We're trying, we're trying everything for everybody. So it's cool. Yeah. Mikey, why don't you come on out here, man? What's happening here?
Yeah, Mikey, what's up, dude?
Come on out.
Keep it an interview, bro.
I see. No, it's like if we were at Saturday night or the night show, the other guy, the host, his partners out there, right? Or the band.
Yeah, but he would be in the garage with you.
Soon enough. Yeah, that's 6 feet away.
Soon.
We can figure it out. I mean, obviously the setup is not good. Jillian was actually just saying, like, what the hell is this setup? I was like, it's like a shanty town. And she was like, no, it looks like a studio. And I was like, Dad, I love you. And then she was like, so how does this get me closer to parking my car in here? And I was like, oh shit, Wes and Mike are here. I gotta get going. So I jumped right on out of that. Wes, tell me a little bit about yourself in the sense that, like, I know who you are, but tell me how did hold on. Now my dog's in here chewing stuff randomly.
Eleanor.
Look at this girl. I had this basket from the box, the dog whatever, the box. What is that called? Box. Bark box. Box, is it? Yeah, is that what it's called? I had a brain fart. I got one of those, and I got the double extra big, non-breakable, and she's ripping them up. I'm like, you got to have some kind of
we get those.
Yeah?
Yeah, you got to get those bark boxes are legit. You just got to get the right ones if they can't destroy, basically.
Dude, no, she's on it now. She's on like the ultimate one, like stuff like this. And like the other one's like a hard, and it's crazy because like Milo thinks it's funny to throw it, and it hits, it'll break my ground, or Malcolm, one or the other. Like they're not making it out of that. Come on, Eleanor. Come on, get out. So sorry, Wes. Luckily, you know my dog, and
you're good,
and you like her.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about yourself in the sense of like how long you've been at CrossFit Costa Mesa. Have you done did you do CrossFit beforehand? Give me a little bit of your like fitnessing at the gym history.
Yeah. I started late 2016. I was just working out at the gym, had played sports a little bit, was sort of bored, had plateaued in terms of lifting. I just went on Google. I had moved to Costa Mesa in 2015, hopped on Google, was looking for gyms. I had like my list of CrossFit gyms in the area that I was going to visit, and I had them all laid out. And then I went to a fundamentals class at CrossFit Costa Mesa, tried it out, and I never actually made it to the second gym. So I just ended up at Costa Mesa, got connected there, and that was it for me. I was sold about a week in. So
that's nice. You didn't go and like try out those free weeks, or what were we offering
the
at the
week
time?
pass, the Groupon pass.
Were we doing the $25?
You guys were offering,
$25.
Yeah, and I remember getting in trouble. I got some heat because I went to fundamentals in the morning at 7 a.m. or like super early, and then I came back at like 7 p.m. And Chelsea, who was coaching at the time, got right in my face and was like, "You're not allowed to do this. Do not take 2 classes a day." I was like, "Okay, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be back."
How cool is it, like when coaches start there, or when people start there, and they become coaches, and they don't really. They love the program, and then it becomes like part of what they're talking about. And then it's like, no, we can't do this. I don't do this. Nobody does this. Right. And that kind of mindset is crazy how that develops inside the gym. And that's, I feel like, what really makes the unity of the gym, because if not, I think if you have stuff all over the place, right? Like, hey, so what's your favorite CrossFit workout? A list of
favorite CrossFit workout.
Yeah, like girl or like hero.
I like Karen, probably because I'm a little taller, but I like Karen.
That's a good test. I got a video like my first video of ever filming Jillian was her at the Buena Park garage outside. It was at night. It was like a situation like this. We were hanging out talking about, I don't know, cartoons and shit. And next thing you know, next thing you know, I was like, she said something to me. We had been dating for a while at that point. And she said something to me in regards to, I could do a 7-minute Karen or sub 7-minute or sub something. And I was like, no fucking way. Excuse me. And so suddenly we went outside and we used, I took the rim out of the basketball court. So I had a basketball hoop in my front yard, and I took the hoop out, and that was my wall ball target. It was 10 feet, built in wall ball target. So I like Karen a lot. She did it, I think. That's like my first video on YouTube ever. And it's got Dirty Heads playing too. Speaking of that, 6 concerts. Great concert today.
I was looking for, while we've been in quarantine, I've been looking for your Spotify profile online because I needed the Dirty Heads sort of playlist to, make the gym, bring the gym home. I feel like it wasn't complete without some of the reggae playlists to listen to at home.
Out of nowhere, I decided, I was like, you know what we're missing in quarantine? Live music. And if it wasn't like live, like what we've been watching with the Dirty Heads, it was like old concerts. Like I'm having Milo watch Woodstock, and I don't know, I would watch all kinds of crazy stuff. Either I really screwed him up, or he's going to be an amazing artist when he's older. So,
or he's going to be super creative.
Yeah. Or always be like, Dad, I could do that, but I gotta work on it. It's not really feeling right. I gotta make it happen. And I was like, okay, I don't blame you. So Karen, what is your favorite lift? Banana feet.
Ooh, you
like that kakawaka today, huh? That kakawaka got you today. I'm gonna have to throw that in every time we train now. That's been helping my hip. The kakawaka.
Mikey, this feels like a trap. You should have warned me. You set me up,
No,
back squat.
What is your
strongest lift? Then I'm going to be like,
back squat. Isn't it always an Olympic lift one of people's favorite lifts? You got a back squat as your Olympic lift. Now that's a setup. That's a setup.
See, exactly. That's what I was like.
Oh man! Next thing you know, you're going to see the bench. The bench. Bless your heart.
You know what? What's like it's a love-hate relationship is I remember, I think it was my second day at the gym, you had programmed which one? Isabel. Was that 30 snatches per time?
Yeah.
At whatever weight it is.
Yeah, 135.
And I was in there with my ego still feeling high off of like, oh, I'm strong, blah, blah. I lift weights, I play football. And I couldn't get that damn bar over my head, couldn't squat down. It was bad. Yeah, dude.
I would have probably still liked the bench, and I would have probably benched probably my whole life if it wasn't for my poor shoulder flexibility and having bad shoulders. And then I wanted to really snatch. So the internal rotation of the pecs by pulling in, I just couldn't afford it. And so I always like that bench. And I like the powerlifting movements. They're pretty gritty. And it's just like true raw strength. I don't believe they're fast. And I know I've hung out with a lot of powerlifters, and they tell me it's fast. And they say they move it fast and the rate of speed and all this, but I've never really seen 1,000 pounds move fast. So I'm kind of confused on that one. Is that, what is that? Is that a junkyard sale back there? What's happening back there? It's like, I feel like I'm selling stuff tomorrow outside. Just gonna push it out. Holy moly. So snatching's your lift. You like snatching, you like clean and jerk? Because you just gave me another CrossFit workout. Right, Mike?
Oh, no.
That was another CrossFit workout. You like back squatting? You like squatting? I like back squatting because that's how they goaded me.
Can you like? Here's my question for you, Max. Can you like stuff you're not good at? So that's So what's good about snatches is there's always stuff to work on. There's always stuff to like improve and tweak and fix. And
I like the snatch. I like the snatch. I like the snatch because it's the fastest lift in the gym. There's nothing that I can do that's faster. There's nothing I can move myself or it at the rate of force and versus me. There's nothing in there. And you could try to argue this, and there's nothing. We can't find it. And for me, the snatch is such a technical skill. And when I used to tell people that I clean and jerked over 200 kilos, and then I would tell them that my best snatch was only 147, they would fucking almost wash, they would wash their hands like now, like Purell it. And you're like, there wasn't even anything going on. there wasn't even anything. Yeah, dude, it was crazy. Like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, okay. Well, you see, the way my bank account works is, but yeah, I've always really loved the snatch. Loved it. So And I feel like too, it's like the one that's the longest to develop. So as you develop, like most countries, when you look at how they develop athletes, it looks like they develop them through the clean and jerk, like ramp that number up because it gives you confidence. It allows you to get strong, a lot of power output, and then don't force the snatch. Those that force the snatch learn to miss a lot and they don't develop well. And that's where that mentality of me saying not missing. And if I trusted, like I'm a good coach and we're all good coaches, but it's easy to get like misconstrued. And if I said, hey, no missing on the snatches and it's okay to miss on the clean and jerk, sometimes that's a really hard thing to kind of not, separate the two. And next thing you know, you're missing earlier on the clean and jerks because I said you can miss. But the clean and jerks, if you notice, whenever I coach them, I turn into like that frat boy where I'm like, fuck it. That's 3 of them, Mikey. That's 3 of them. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to. But Wes is firing me up, Okay, so the snatch, Isabel, heavy snatches. And then 3, 4? You're going to hit me with 4? No way. I'm about to get you one right now. Okay, and then he's not even, this is more on me. So the next one that I'll have to ask you here, and I'm curious, is what would you tell others about CFCM?
What would I tell others about CFCM? I would tell them that it's the fittest I've ever been in my life. Probably not. I'm not the fittest I've ever been in my life because I'm able to run faster, lift more. I would say it just made me a better person. I think having to come into a place and for someone who's been independent my whole life to have to listen to you and have to have someone else do the programming, to have to like be bad at stuff consistently. Like when you walk in, the temptation is to cherry pick. It's to not show up. It's like there are snatches, there are overhead squats. I look like an idiot. I feel this big when I'm in here doing these things. But I think the mental toughness and the maturity that grows out of coming back to work on a craft that way. Because if you're, not learning those things, you can be fit. But if you haven't been mentally challenged to come back and work on something that's going to take work and time and months and years. Because I was like, you hit roadblocks in CrossFit where it's like 3 months in, 6 months in, 9 months. Man, I should be past this. And there's this constant like humbling experience. But then you do it together as a community. And so it's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, that development
through that, you need people.
That ego development is tough, and it's tough for people, and specifically the way we teach fitness through the way we teach CrossFit. And we really teach you to be honest with yourself, and we really teach you to try to develop. Right. And then you have to actually learn these words and this stuff because it's like we expect you to know our language, because that's what we want to do. We want to develop not only your mentality, your physical ability to move through it, and then also your speed of recognition, right? Like, I feel like there's so much stuff that we work on that people don't realize, and they can see it now because we had the 10 weeks out and we come back in. Jillian asked me today, and it was, I almost wanted to just hug her and kiss her. It was like, she straight up was, yeah, totally. She straight up was like, hey, I'm super concerned. And I was like, why? And she's like, well, do you think we're doing the right thing? And I was like, nah. Why? Yeah, of course we are. Why are you asking this? And she was like, well, it seems the same. Seems normal. Like we all just we just make sure they have to sign up. There's only a certain amount of spaces, but I mean, everything we're doing seems almost like we're all facing the same way. Like they have to fucking follow a certain track. They got to go in. They got to get out. They had to learn their stuff. I'm like, how much gallons of cleaning supply are we pumping? And she's like, I can smell it. I was like, okay, so you tell me if we're doing the right thing. And she's like, yeah, that's crazy. And I was pretty pumped on that alone, because that tells me that the system that I and we specifically created, like this idea of like this max fit, and then Alec allowing me to implement it into CrossFit Costa Mesa. Because even when you go back to the team, the way he talked me into doing the CrossFit gym was he's like, hey, will you program for the gym? And then I'll let you do like develop the CrossFit stuff. And I was like, I don't really want to get involved in that again. And he was like, yeah, you'll do good at it. And so I said, hey, I'll do it if you give me 5 years. And after 5 years, I don't care, you know, you can fire me, do whatever you want. But I want 5 years to get just a bunch of average Joes that work full time, and I'm going to get them to qualify for the games. We didn't do it. We missed it by 1 point, but we were within like 3 spots, 1 spot, 3 years in a row. And it was more of a team situation and a schedule and an ability to train year round. But they did well. They developed, they allowed for the 5 years. So in my eyes, we did it. And that was like a little, like a case study, right? Like the idea of development and what they could do. And that all started because somebody said, oh, hey, you will, it's not an idea to take somebody from the couch and you'll make them a national champion. And I was like, yeah, you probably won't. But if you think like that, then why the hell are you a strength coach? That doesn't really seem, that doesn't seem like you're real confident, you know? So, Mikey wants to tell us score today. What did you get in the workout, Mikey? Jump back on. Where are you at? Why are you off? I don't know. It's just cut off. You're just too teed up right now. You feel like you're swelling up on us. I got a part. It looks like I got a part in my hair. You got a T. And then I got Wes over here is the only one that looks respectable with the close white screen. Doesn't look like he has a garbage sale going on in the back. Shit. So what was today's workout? Whoa, how about the last 2 workouts? First 2 days back. Spicy?
Little back.
Right? What about tomorrow?
Oh, you're terrible, bro. You're terrible.
What is it? I haven't even.
We'll get to that.
You know what this is already?
We'll get to this. Wes.
Oh, okay. I was like,
we'll get to this.
All right.
So also too, I feel like you're like a first time caller, long time listener, Wesley here. Like I feel
exactly.
I feel like that's kind of
also,
you.
I'm long time angry listener. I'm only here,
every time
on the days when you posted some nonsense. When the workouts has been ridiculous.
Yeah. Jump in and like get the crowd going. Like whoever's on here. If there's more people, it's a little bit easier. If there's like 2 or 3, I'm in trouble because they just start peppering me about the workout.
Yeah.
So thanks, Wes, Potster Wes. And then I wouldn't have thought of you of doing that. But now that I can see that after working out, it makes you get a little aggressive. So.
It's how I knew who was doing the workouts, Max, because if you don't show up to Munchies mad, you didn't do the workout in my mind. It's only if you went through it that you show up, because you got to talk to the guy.
You definitely understood what you went through.
Exactly.
I might have just thrown that all over my mic. Yeah.
I would like to speak to your manager, please.
Very like that.
Exactly.
Excuse me. Hello. Who's in charge over here? I don't understand why I had to do that. Do you know what else I'm suffering through right now? I don't appreciate you. Jillian, this is absolutely true.
Thank you, G.
Angry Wes. Thank you, Chandler. Yeah. It's Mike's fault too, Chandler. Don't get that twisted. It's Mike's fault on that. So about making Angry Wes. So yesterday we had that Dubai workout, right?
Oh yeah.
And that was a little heart cardio burner for sure.
That was a tough one. And then today was Shenanigans Fight Gone Bad. Jillian said it was every bad part of Fight Gone Bad and then a couple other exercises. It's like, yes, it was. I did a workout like that in a relay style once. It was awful. Threw up, whole 9 yards. Yeah, what was this, Mikey? Go ahead. Let's take it.
This was yesterday's workout. Welcome back workout, the Dubai see what Wes got.
Oh, yeah.
266 reps. Okay, buddy.
Yeah. Excited to be back. That's what happened.
Maxie up there crushing it.
318
318.
with 12 BJs.
All right.
Emily
Tyler?
Nelson here, 296.
Oof.
The better Lucero, 272. G, 256. Let's see.
What?
Jeff over here, 215. I beat Jeff. Yes.
Yes.
I'll take that.
What about Heiko? What did Heiko do right above Jeff?
232 with 35.
35 pounds? Hell yeah.
And then let's see, Q was 193, and then the better Tameifuna, 196.
What did Hanson get? What did Erica get?
Eric had 220 with the 15-pound dumbbell.
All right.
That's fast.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, G, 10 reps. And it's not looking good for you and Nathan this open. So
Yeah.
save this video clip. Save this video clip
Yeah.
in 4 months. Bring it back.
I don't know. G's hard to beat in the open. She's scrappy. She's scrappy in the open. She's scrappy in the open. She's like every year. It's like, it's no big deal. And she's always just hacking through little G. Every year since I've known her. Even when we went to Aromas in 2000 and I think it was like 8 or 2009, she was like, I was like, hey, you want to tag along with me? Yeah, I'll do this. And then she was out there too. Poor girl. How long were you doing CrossFit when you just went out there onto the ranch?
She trains all year for the Open.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Let's get back to the show here. All year for the Open. All right.
All right. For today's horrible fight gone bad, let's see where Wes. Did you log Wes? Yeah, there you are. 222. Okay.
22,
Yeah, look at those numbers. They came hot.
26, 21, 20, 20, 16, 13, 20, 20, 20 on the deadlifts. Burpees 15. Nice.
Maxie, I don't think you post those numbers. I don't think he comes hunting for them. I bet he's pretty sore. Should have just hid those numbers for a while. No, he would have blown it out. He got you by 50 reps. He would have got you whether he was sleeping.
Holy moly.
Because Christian almost got 300.
Yeah,
that's all that happening. That's all that happening.
So 25s. But that's what it should. That's what it should be. I mean, that's closer to your relative to you. Like it's about 200 points or 100 points away from your fight gone bad score.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Well, you said take a number and stick with it, so I did.
Yeah. You're trying to hold. Yeah, you're just trying to hold on to the biggest number. Because really, when you do fight gone bad, the idea is to start at the push press or start at the box jump. You do 30 plus box jumps. You do 40 or 50 push presses. You rest on the rower. You do your wall balls. You try to get 30 plus wall balls. And then you do your sumo deadlift high pulls, 40 to 50 your first round. And then you drop it by 5 or 10 every round. And you're somewhere in the 400s. 2-minute rest like this. And then you talk like this. Okay. So what did Pai get?
Pai had got 219 with that 30-pound fan bell he's been working with. English though.
Oh, English.
206. Dang.
Sweaty
English. What about Pacern over here? Pacern looking good. Fit Pacern.
93, and he did the 70-pound.
Kept him home for a little while, but he came up all bodied up. I was like, Pacern. Holy moly. What about Giselle over here? I saw her over there in like 4th.
230.
What did Lily get?
Lily got 230 as well, but I have on the 35.
gave her a higher like pounds per whatever rating?
No, I think 39.96. No, I think it was because she used a higher weight.
Yeah, this one was, to me, I knew it was going to be bad. It's like, you know, when you write something and you're like, you don't know, and then you do it and you're like, oh, okay, that was pretty bad. When I wrote it, I was like, it was one of those ones where I like erased it and then I did it. And then this morning, Craig was telling me that he did this workout on .com that was 40, 30, 20, 10. What was it? It was 40, 30, 20, 10 sit-ups. And I think it was snatches. It was something. And I was like, oh, that's where I got this workout. And he looked at me like how did you get this workout from that? And I was like, well, 40, 30, 20, 10. And based off of what we had done, and then the sumo deadlift high pulls, and I wanted a core exercise, but I didn't want a sit-up exercise because I'm resting from our challenge. I wanted 30 days with no core work. And he was just looking at me like, and I was like, yeah, we followed .com a week behind all the time. And he was so pumped on it. But he still didn't understand how I got 40, 30, 20, 10 and this monstrosity. Well, I think it was sit-ups and power snatches or something.
GHD sit-ups and kettlebell swing.
Kettlebell swing. That's where the kettlebell swing came from. So, but then the number 40, 30, 20, 10, right? So you got 100 something, you know, and that's where the whole, and next thing you know, we're in fight gone bad. Wesley, got another question for you.
What's up?
What do you love about CrossFit Costa Mesa?
What do I love about the gym? Good question. You know, I'll say this. Dang it, man. Okay. So all workout stuff aside, I work at a church. I work for a church. I'm a pastor there. And over the last summer, lost a job at a church. And it was tough, man. It was tough. And the community that really walked me through that was CrossFit Costa Mesa, to be honest with you. I had friends around me from outside of it, but on a daily basis, it was you, it was G, it was Nathan, it was Q was our training partners, man, that were there to get me through a hard time, get me through a difficult time. Being generous, you know, they really carried me through stuff, you know. So for all the things that I love about the way that we train, we develop athletes, we challenge people mentally to make them tougher. Man, when stuff really hit the fan, the community that carried me through a lot of that was the gym. So, you know, grateful for that.
Yeah.
I don't think I make it through. I don't think I come out of it the same person without you guys. So
I wonder if that's the same thing, like with this whole quarantine thing for a lot of us that are really tied into the gym, you know, this idea of like, oh man, we got to make it back to see each other, to train with each other. And I don't think people realize how important it is to train, you know, and it's not like, yeah, we want to do good at fitnessing and we want to get better at all this stuff. And we're strong kids and we're good at lifting and all that stuff. But I think that it's always something greater, you know, like when this whole CrossFit thing changed a year or two ago, I was more like, I was bummed. But at the same time, I was like, well, that didn't really make or break what we did. You know, we still train 2 to 3 hours a day. We still train twice a day, sometimes during the year. That's just how I do it. That's just who I am. You know, I'm 40 something years old and I'm still living in Neverland training, you know? And so that's what I don't know. Like, it's crazy what that does to people and how that carries people through stuff. And then when other people are into it too, and I always tell people when they join the gym, like, you know, people around here, they love each other, but just know that they need to see you suffer for a little while before they just like take you in. Like you gotta show up. You gotta show up, you know. But yeah, they'll definitely. I mean, look at they carried me through this. You know, if I didn't have to do all this, like, and I don't even think of it as work. I just think of it as just communication and like, you know, if I could drop by everybody's house and be like, you know, I would. So
right.
Yeah. So I had another few little questions, and then I'll let you go. I'm sorry I'm keeping you up so late. And sorry I was late, but you can see I blew my garage. Something happened. Something happened. I mean, I got like this desk back here. So I got these questions here, and this is kind of a questions for like spiritual seekers, right? And then I was looking at like different questions, like what would you ask if I was to ask like spiritual seeking questions? And there's some really good ones on here. And as I look through it, I see a few that like really pertain to almost like where we're at now. And so like the first one that I see right away that pops up that I want to talk about is why I probably should have sent this to you. I probably should have sent it to you and then been like, hey, if you see one on here that you like, I mean, go ahead. I mean, that's kind of messed up. But
no, you're good.
Here. Okay. The first one, no, it's modern technology. I just texted it to you here. I mean, if we were in the same room, I would do it. But now I'm just gonna do it like this. So the first one that I see that I really liked was, why are so many people depressed? Why are so many people depressed? Right. And then to me, like, I knew we were people that were like bothered. I knew we were people that were like kind of bugged. And then all of a sudden, like this thing's happening. And I have some friends on the East Coast that I'm getting to the point where I'm almost knowing more people that have died from suicide versus from COVID-19 on the East Coast. And that's crazy to me. And that's really why that one popped out. That's actually why I picked this 20, was because of that one question. And depression's always an interesting thing to me. It's always an interesting thing to me because it's so easy. Like I really loved One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I really liked Cool Hand Luke. I really liked the whole like getting into the psych ward and then not being able to get out type of situation, you know, Nurse Ratched style. And that all revolves around getting stuck in the loop of depression. And you brought up the idea of how the gym is a sanctuary. Like you find sanctuaries, you find going outside as a sanctuary, you find, you know, your home as a sanctuary. Apparently a lot of people do not find their home as a sanctuary, but you find different things as I found it. It sounds crazy to me. You pay so much money to live in your house, and now you don't want to. Okay, let's stay focused. So sanctuary, right? And you look for them. And I'm wondering if like when you're depressed, there's so many triggers. Like yes, spirituality will guide you, but sometimes it gets fearful too. It creates more fear. Right. Like if you start looking at like the book of Revelations, or you look at most scriptures and you look at like even the Quran, and you look at different things that are very kind of almost like or parts of the Old Testament where like overcoming oppression, you know, and I'm getting pushed down and I'm having to fight back almost again, like where we're at now. But if you read that stuff, I'd get a little nervous about it too. Why are so many people depressed?
Dude.
Like it's just like that. I can't answer that.
Right. I don't know that I can either.
Right. Does spirituality answer that? That's not fair. That's not fair. But spirituality will help at least with some type of guidance, right? Some type of
I agree.
Maybe like that faith in something higher than, you know, and that's really, I think too, why like addicts, right? The first thing in the 10-step program, they have to give it over to something higher. And that's a huge thing. Like people, when they're spiritual, like I remember when I started meditating and stuff, people really thought that was weird, you know, and I didn't, obviously around hippies and the people hung out like that didn't think it was weird. But other people were like, whoa. And now it's kind of more of a social norm. I mean, they got apps about meditating. You know, I paid $100 last year. Is that because we have more people depressed, or is that because now we're just getting better at maybe dealing with it? Do you think people are more depressed because the working or the like striving, the rat race, the money? Like, what do you think because to me, I think probably a number one stressor is probably money, right? Relationships.
I mean, there's no shortage on things to be depressed about. I mean, if you're looking for a reason to be depressed, that's not hard. You know, people, it's not hard to find that stuff.
The country song,
like,
song comes out quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see one on there? I mean, obviously, if I feel depressed, I start trying to meditate more. I try to find some time for myself. I also try to find the time, like the room. That's one thing I really liked about the garage, even though it was really secluded and sometimes I got claustrophobic and I had to go outside and breathe. Like I got scared sometimes, and I'm never claustrophobic like that. Through this quarantine, I did that. And I could feel that was like that depression, the walls closing in. But at the same time, being in here sometimes and getting away was really, really nice, you know, and I was blessed to have Jillian allow me to do that. But Mikey, why do you think people are so depressed? Where did you go?
I'm right here.
Yeah. This is our show, bro.
Yeah, but I'm the control box.
Get back in here then. Come back in, control box.
To be honest, I think we can't deal with ourselves. I know I couldn't for a long time, and I still can't. And I, seek a lot of help from other people. And I always form it in the question, kind of like a asking for a friend type thing, but I'm really asking for myself most of the time. But yeah,
that's real sad.
Yeah, because I mean, it's hard. A lot of people have that ego that we were talking about earlier. It doesn't only just apply to working out. It applies to like a part where because I was raised a little bit differently, where I had to be like, I never asked for help. You never ask for help. It shows weakness and whatever, but that's actually a sign of weakness where you can't ask for help, right? And I feel like a lot of people feel like if I ask for help, I'm going to be a bother to people, whereas in reality, it's not. It's actually healthy to be like, hey, I have this problem. I need to lean on you, or I need to lean on my pastor, or, I need to lean on my friend, my aunt, and things like that. So right now, I honestly believe everybody that's fighting to get out of quarantine when it first happened couldn't deal with themselves. Couldn't like deal with those demons, and for me, I have faith, so I pray about it. I talk to, Kelly, I talk to you guys. You guys are like Wes was saying, community was like a big help for me, but not everybody has that. So,
I wondered too sometimes, like if when they have that like internal thought and they're like, oh, and they're looking internally and there's never been a lot of tools that we were given to be able to understand. Like when I tell a kid, like right now, if I, and I've worked in the jails too. And if I tell a kid, hey man, have you looked in the mirror and told yourself that you love yourself? Multiple times they've looked at me like suddenly I did something wrong. I'm like, no. I'm not even close to you. Yeah. But yeah, like looked at me like, what is this guy saying to me? This is weird. And I'm like, no, if you can't tell yourself you love yourself, you're going to have huge problems, huge problems. And this is coming from some dude with like beard, sweating, doing PE with him. And you guys see now what I do for PE when I go places. So like, you can only imagine. And it was always something that was really interesting to me. It was like almost socially not accepted. Like Mike said, you tell somebody, oh, I'm asking for a friend. It's okay if I ask for myself. Like what's wrong with you? Maybe you should take some pills, go seek some help, go to a shrink. It's like, no, I'm trying to develop tools right now by talking to you, asshole. So it's like the same person that's dieting and says, hey, I'm not going to drink tonight. And next thing you know, they're like, why are you not drinking? Like, I'm just not drinking. Are you on a diet? No, I'm just trying not to drink tonight. Oh, okay. Why you been drinking too much? Are you an alcoholic? No, dude, I just don't want to drink tonight. Just tonight. I just don't want tonight. Okay, fuck it. I'll just drink tonight. Hit me again. Shit. Sorry. So
yeah.
5, 6. I gotta keep track of these.
You're at 7.
There's no way I'm gonna have to go back and watch this. I think you're doubling up. Are you counting like shit as one too?
No, I'm counting just the F-bomb.
Just F-bombs. Those come out. I get excited. I get excited. They're not like malicious F-bombs.
Wes, was there a question that you wanted to answer from the list?
I think to Max's point about the depression question, again, I think there are a number of different reasons why people can be depressed. I think what's been great about the gym is I think you're going to be most helpful when you can view people through a holistic lens. So a biological, a social, and a psychological lens, like all those things are influencing how depressed you are or are not. So how your body feels, how you think about yourself. Can you look at yourself in a mirror and say that you love yourself, that I'm valuable? Can you do that? So the way you think, your relationships, all those things are going to play a role in depression. And I wouldn't even just say depression, but your ability to create a future in your own mind, a hopeful future. You know, when people are depressed, you start to lose the ability to see a vision of a better place, a better life, a better opportunity. You know, that's what depression is. In a very generic sense, it's probably too reductive, but when you can get people to create a hopeful vision for themselves, and not just a vision, but here's how we can get there together, you can help them out. So,
well, you touched on the next question right below that, which is funny because it says here, what are we all so afraid of? So right below that number 3 question was, why are so many people depressed? The next number 4 was what are we all so afraid of? You know, and that's another one that pertains to now pretty well. You know, are we afraid of the unknown? Are we afraid of like almost like certain like scriptures? You know, like are we afraid of? You know, is that where like the book? And I've always been when I read the Bible when I was young, because imagine, you know, I went through First Communion and all that stuff, and when I did that, it was always about the Book of Revelations. Man, that book is so hot. Man. It's so hot,
dude.
It's so hot. My mom used to she used to get so mad at me that I would read it so much. I was like, Mom, you said read the Bible. You said read the Bible. I'm reading the Bible. Why are you getting mad? It's the only thing that has a good story. Or like Genesis. I like Genesis. I like the Book of Genesis. That's nice too. A lot of shenanigans going on, cutting babies in half and stuff. There's a lot of shenanigans.
Man.
So it's good stuff. Like you learn like a lot of moral stuff, and that's really why I like the Bible stories. And Milo goes to a Bible school. That way they actually have Bible time. Something we looked into. At least when Jillian looked into it, I was like, yes, I love it. And she's like, really? You like Bible school? I was like, yeah, for sure. They're gonna read those stories. But what you think of they're afraid more of the answering of atonement or judgment day or unknown? You know what?
Truthfully, I think Mikey really touched on something. Like, I think being in quarantine has created a lot of opportunity for like reflection personally, but not just personally, but like on a grander scale. Where is my life going? Where is everything going? You know, and do I have control of where it's going? Because suddenly life has changed in a second, and now we're locked down. Now I feel like, man, I was going somewhere. It can change in a blink. You know, all of a sudden people are evaluating, wait, I'm how many years old? Crap, have I done everything that I wanted to do? Am I going to be able to, you know, which is crazy to like wrestle with by yourself. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's just like all of a sudden it comes to a grinding halt, and you have 2 months to think about what you've been doing for your whole entire life up until then.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But I don't know. Like, I don't know how you feel about this, but for me, I feel like you have 2 options. Either you ride the flow and you ride it out, and Max has told me this. He's just like, just ride the wave, or. But I think, but he meant it in like a training sense, but I took it into a literal sense. Or you can just sit there and kind of like, I can't do anything about it. I like the former more better than the latter for sure. Like, you always have control no matter what. It may be bleak. I mean, like, one of our old members, Andrew Metal, like talk about a guy that's been through like the ringer, but he just kept that like unbreakable mindset and just like made it. And he's like on top right now. He just had a kid.
He just had a baby. He just had a kid.
Had a kid right before quarantine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like too, like we want answers now, and we're not like that that idea of that video of living for 1,000 years. If we lived for 1,000 years, 100 years, segments would seem very different, you know. And I for me, when I look to in a spiritual sense, and I think of being afraid and my commitment to either being saved or anything that I have spiritually, it's not going to matter if the moment of death it doesn't happen. So what do I really have to be afraid of? Because if I die, I've already, you know, I believe and I have faith, so I'm okay. And if I die and it's not there, I'm not going to know anyway, so it's not going to really matter. So like the whole idea of being afraid, I you know, and it just gets me sometimes. And the more you let yourself get tightened up by that, the worse it gets, you know. And you'll start telling yourself, and I feel like that's right. That's why right now it's hot. It's hot for the steam you're eating right now because of all the conspiracy stuff, because of the people being afraid, you know. Because you know what I think of when I read the conspiracy stuff is I feel like it's like a tabloid. I'm reading a tabloid. Like, oh, this is good. This is good stuff. Oh,
that's an interesting take. I haven't heard that yet.
That's why I got into ancient aliens,
like YouTube conspiracies. Yeah,
great. If it's not, it's not. When the aliens come, I'll be like, oh shit, they were right. But until then, I'm like, oh, this is great. Steamy novel, steamy novel, like short story. Okay. Okay. Hey, what is our greatest distraction?
Man, this is kind of like a philosophical answer, so we don't got to spend too much time on it. But I would say, in my opinion, in our current day and age, in our current culture, I would say self. Like people are definitely given the opportunity to be absorbed and almost distracted with themselves. Like, I agree with you. We should meditate. We should be spiritually aware, emotionally healthy, physically healthy. But if that's just to only become more and more obsessed and absorbed in yourself, I think there's a greater purpose for people, right? Like, I think your distraction is from the way that you can be helping somebody else, the way that you can be investing in someone else's life, the way that you can be leading someone along, bringing them along with you on the journey. So in my opinion, I think we can get pretty distracted with me, mine, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, when like no matter what, and I'll use a competitive atmosphere because that's kind of what I know. But like, and you're standing on a podium, you're always alone. But at the end of the day, when you have it in your cabinet and you look at the podium, like the medal you won, you don't know, you don't always remember the time you stood there. You remember the whole journey to get there, you know, and that's something where I think a lot of people kind of miss out on that. It's like, think about, you know, looking back, Milo and Malcolm, neither of those boys will remember this. They're both, you know, Milo's 4, Malcolm is 8 months old. So it'll just be something we talk about. Me and Jillian will remember it, but it's just something. So the distraction of life is so easy and it takes you out. And I just think too is we'll listen to the chatter. I see it all the time in fitness. You know, I see a female come in, she's really good at developing, she's developing well. Suddenly she's 26, 27, and somebody's like, hey, you probably want to have a kid soon, you know, and you see that still in this day and age, and you're like, well, we're in a modern era. Like, women can have kids up until they're 40 years old. Like, you're only going to have your like estrogen or your testosterone at one point in your life. This peak season is only so often, you know, and I feel like people get so distracted, like, oh, suddenly I need a boyfriend or I need a girlfriend. And they think they need something where there's no, you didn't go searching for it. It found you, right? Like a distraction. It's creepy. Like, here we go. Here we go. Yes, Mike, I get it. You got a long-standing girlfriend now. Okay. Yes. Jesus.
Yeah, Mike.
But so that's where I feel like distractions are easy. And I don't think social media, I don't think technology is a distraction. It can be, but it's also very useful, right? Like right now it's a huge distraction because it's too much shit. But there is a lot of good wealth in there.
Right.
Oh shoot, this one's good. Describe God. My dad, I never knew my dad was a very like spiritual or religious person. And one day we were in the backyard and he's got a phenomenal green thumb. And mind you, I used to grow marijuana maybe. And he was like phenomenal green thumb. And I said that like undertone. And I was a bad kid. I tell my story. I was a bad kid. I'm a good kid, really good kid. Pay all my taxes. I'm a sweetheart, man. So I'm going through this process, talking to him, trying to get like how to splice because he has roses that he can actually get them to do rings. So he's got like a blooming rose where it's like red, white, and pink, or red, white, and purple. Like he can actually get roses to bloom. And I'm like, Dad, how do you do this? Like, what do you do? And he's a very like, he lived underneath like a wagon for like 4 years in his life because he was a kid. And like, he's got a phenomenal story. And I asked him like, hey, so what do you get these things to grow? And suddenly he says, I asked them. I was like, are you on drugs? You what? He says, I asked them. And I said, you asked them? He says, yeah. I'm out here. I protect them. I talk to them, and he starts telling me about this greater like energy. And he just communicates with this energy. And I was just like fucking blown away. I knew my dad for 22 years and I had never heard this from him. And I was like, man, that was awesome. And my dad basically described kind of how I feel about this energy of God. Like it is, and that's really where I started getting into the Eastern philosophical view because they really like the energy. Like, they talk about in Buddhism, it's Hinduism, Brahman is Atman, this in truth is that. And we get that too in like the Holy Spirit and the Trinity. And we talk about things of that nature, right? Like because God is one of or a part of, right? Or like us, right? That's something similar. Now in the East, there's a whole, like, to me, there's no hierarchy. And that's something else that kind of attracted me to that kind of religious philosophical thought, that there was no hierarchy. We were a part of, and I was raised Roman Catholic. So if I know hierarchy, I know hierarchy, and I like it too. I like hierarchy too. So
well, that's the other thing that we were talking about this morning. You're all like, we get into big debates about blank, and you're like, what's the third one? Hierarchy was the third one.
Hierarchy.
Well,
when I got into the yin and the yang talks about there is no right or wrong. So black and white, left and right. There's three of us. If I say, hey, let's all get to the beach, and I give you a mark, and you go straight, and Mikey goes to the right, and I go 4 loops, and I get there, we all get to the same spot at the end. It's all the same result, right? At the end. And so there's no right or wrong. And then that was kind of like what we were talking about. Well, I don't know. I don't want murderers and killers out in the wild, but I don't really want to kill them either. Like there's the judgment to me is weird. And that's where that's also the beauty of having more of a godlike entity in my mind, is that judgment becomes not in, like, my hands. I don't really want to judge because I don't want that on me. And that's really like, even now, I'm no one to judge. You want to Lysol me before you come in? Hit me. I'm no one to judge.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
Describe God.
Oh, yeah.
I said he was an energy. Did you?
I mean, the simple answer, the like easiest, the like no brainer for me is like, okay, well, you know, I'm a pastor at a church. I'm at a Christian church. To describe God, in my opinion, would be like, let me tell you about Jesus. So I'll give you my first answer. Just this is easy, Max. Next time you're ever in church, the answer is always Jesus. You'd be like, pastor asks a question, speaker asks a question. They're baiting you. The answer is Jesus. I'll give you another way of looking at it. So different way to describe it. So let's set aside the Jesus talk for a second. I think that whether people believe in God or not, I believe they're made to reflect God. They're made in his image. So I would say if I wanted to describe God to you, I would look at the things that you see as most valuable or beautiful, the things that like influence your life positively that you see in Mike or that you see in Jillian. I would say when those things come together, it reflects who God is, right? Because I think we all reflect a part of who God is through whether it's kindness or mercy or patience or generosity. You know, when I start to, if I had to describe what God was like, I could use, so I got to tell my friend Mike about what God's like. Mike, let me tell you what God is like. God will stick with you. He'll stand by your side. He'll protect you. He'll fight alongside you. I got this friend Max. He'll be there with you. He'll be in a foxhole with you. He'll protect you. He'll kick and scratch and claw to protect those in his circle. That's sort of, you don't know what God's like. He's kind of like that. Like that's an easy way to describe God. I don't have to, you know, break out 7 Bible verses. It's like, hey, let me tell you about my friend. That's kind of what God's like, you know, and you could do that through 6 different people and give somebody a pretty good picture of God. So
That was actually a real good answer. I thought for a second there when you said, let me tell you a real simple answer, I thought you were going to say, hey, have you ever seen The Search for the Holy Grail? And I was going to say, yes. And then you were going to say, you know what God pops up? You know what God pops up? That's God. And I was going to be like, damn it, Wes, that's not what I wanted. But yeah, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
That's why I was chuckling a little bit. I was like, he's going to do it to me. He's going to do it to me. That was awesome. But way better answer than I thought you were going to tell me. That was 3, right? That was 3. Depression.
Yeah.
Afraid of.
Oh yeah. Depression, fear.
Describe God. Oh, and greatest distraction. Distraction.
Oh yeah. 4.
So
yeah, you're right.
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna use this one for our last one. What is your one wish for the world?
Oh.
What is your one wish for the world? What is your one wish?
So I'll go first, but I'd love to hear what Mikey'd have to say too. Man, I believe that the world is broken. So it's like, I wish that all things would be restored, right? So like everything's going crazy right now because you're seeing things break down. And so if I live in a world where there's no God, it's like people will tell me like, look at how messed up the world is. If there's no God, then it's just messed up. And the person who gets beat up and killed, like they just got beat up and killed, that's how their life went, sucks. You know, like, guess that's how it goes. But if I believe that there's a God who's eventually going to restore all things, then there's hope. So I think it'd be the restoration of everything that's ever been taken, stolen, pulled apart, ripped apart. And that's everything. So not just life, but like for everything that someone said that took a piece of value from you, for the teacher or the bully who said, you're not worth a damn, blah, 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 that all those things would be restored back into people. So that's my answer. The restoration of everything that's ever been lost.
That's a huge like insight in the like. You ever like that Siddhartha Gautama story, like the 4 Noble Truths and stuff like that? Like kind of seeing like all the world is suffering, and you know what do we suffer of? We suffer of our ignorance, and how do we fix that? Is by getting right with ourselves, or at least getting right with I always think of like the 3. I think of like getting right with our mind, getting right with our spirituality, and then getting right with our body. And then I don't know if that's just because I was Catholic, everything works in fucking threes for me. Hit me again. Damn it. Okay. Eight. Don't give me no bullshit about 9. He's double counting. Double counting. I just wanted to see how many I actually say because I'm actually trying not to cuss. Mikey, you're muted, bro. He mutes himself. He does me dirty all the time.
I think the one thing that I do want the world to have more of is empathy. You don't have to agree. You don't have to be polarizing. You don't have to be on one side or the other. You can have what you want. You can deal with what you want, but you need to have empathy for the other person. Like, I remember growing up not a long time ago, but like when I was in grade school, we learned the phrase agree to disagree. And whatever happened to that?
Sure.
Whatever happened to understanding that the other side isn't totally wrong? It's just they don't agree with you, and that's okay. Like, I'm not going to go out there and punch somebody because they think like red is the best color in the world when I think black is the best color in the world. So I want the world to have just more empathy. It's like, it's okay to be who you are. Just you need to understand who the other person is too.
Dude, empathy is so hard. Empathy is so hard. Like, I know that I suck at it, and like I try to do it for people. I feel like I'm good at it in my job as a coach, but like I know I need to do it for my wife. I need to do it more for her, but I can't sometimes because our relationship is like we're buddies, and then we work together, and we have all this other stuff going on, and then sometimes I'm just like, oh, I don't think she wants that, and obviously she wants that. You know, we all want empathy. You know, and I almost I almost am ignorant of like, and I mean, we've been together for 15 years, you know, and myself, as of late, I've realized like, no, it has to happen. And then when you're being too rough, too long, you gotta figure it out. And I suck at that, you know, and I feel like, unfortunately for like my family, I give more empathy to society, to people around me than those poor kids, to my wife. And that's something that I strive to give back at all times, you know. It's crazy. So like, and I'm trying to be aware of it. How many people are really, really aware of what kind of empathy they're giving people? You know, that's actually my New Year's resolution every year, is to be nice to people. March.
I mean, empathy is way harder than nice. Being nice is easy. Being empathetic is a different beast.
Yeah, totally.
Because in today's time, bless their heart.
Bless their heart.
Yeah.
So
bless their heart.
For me, it'd be like self-sacrifice or love. One, like the idea of truly like the bullshit that I hear in the reggae, like that one love, one nation, one God, you know, like this idea of one united front. And I don't like commercialized religion. I don't like commercialized politics. I don't like commercialized fitness. I don't like anything commercialized, because those that go into a big group will always subside their voice, certain parts of their voice, to have other parts of their voice heard. And I just don't like that. I've never really liked that, because yes, it makes your voice greater, but you're also losing some of your own real voice. And I've never been a fan of that. And
agreed.
And I feel like if we can figure out a way to truly have one love for each other and understand that, you know, we are all human. And yeah, I get it that like saving your neighbor is not saving yourself, and that sucks. But we have to figure out a way to do that, because if not, then it's just chaos. And I don't think people understand that. And I feel like a lot of people have never really been in a chaotic situation. They might say they've been in a fight. They might say they've done things that are chaotic. And I don't know, like I used to jump into concerts, you know, get in there and then take off my sweater and my pants, and I rip off pants and stuff. And then all of a sudden I was in the pit, and I was in the concert for free. So like I've gone through like stupid. Jerry Garcia died. I'm in high school. We drive to the Griffith Memorial, and we're in a drum circle, hanging out since I got tie-dye on, hanging out. Next thing you know, the police officers, riot guards, like, you gotta get out of here. I'm in high school, you know, so that's chaotic. I don't know a lot of kids that even did that, and that's baby stuff. That's baby stuff. And
Sure.
mind you too, like, we didn't find our car and we got lost, and like there's a way other story to this thing, but we'll talk about that offline. But it was something where I realized that in chaos you have to understand calmness, and you have to understand empathy, and you have to understand caring, and some type of idea of love. And I just don't think, because even now I'm telling everybody as they leave the gym, have you noticed I told everybody, I love you. I love you.
Yeah.
And something that I noticed in myself is that I haven't hugged or like kissed my mom on the cheek for about 10 weeks. And I've kissed my mom on the cheek for 40 years. I remember asking my mom one time, like, hey, Mom, why do we kiss each other? And she said, well, what happens if it's the last time you kiss me and you don't come back and I'm not here and you don't get to say goodbye? That's fucked up to say to a kid, but so like that's messed up, you know, and that stuck to me to this day. And now it rings more true than anything else. And it's all really comes down to love. And I just think it's crazy how a lot of us just don't have love for each other. Like, it's like, what's it matter? Like, why can't you give that? Why can't you give that to somebody? Why can't you give that passion to somebody, that love or that trust? But who knows? Yeah, the world maybe never will give into that, you know. But there's people that just take advantage of shit like that. Look at, like, this stuff started happening and people started calling people and said, we're the government. Give me your social security number. We're going to pay you today. Okay. And you got a cousin in Africa too? Like, no, stop it. Stop it. Like, yeah, you ever get that email? You get that fish email? That fish email. Hey, I have the best is when they start sending me South American stuff. I'm like, nobody talks about South American stuff, but because I have family members in South America, now you're gonna send me shit from South America. Stop it. Shame on you.
Hey, what if like the Prince of Nigeria actually needed help one of these days, and because of all the spam emails?
How upset if the Prince of Nigeria really does need help?
Why doesn't anyone want to help me here?
I've been sending emails for months. Oh man. Well, thank you, Wes. Hey, I know I added a lot more questions than I normally do on Friday, but we could probably go forever on that kind of stuff. And that's really kind of what I kind of like to do. But I also wanted to bring you on here because, one, you kind of spoiler alert and did your own little clap back to me. So thank you. But when I think of somebody that comes in and devotes themselves to the program and devotes themselves to what specifically that I'm talking about, what I'm trying to, let's say, preach, or let's say I'm trying to like push or influence. Sometimes it's a lot of pushback because, one, there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of like outside influence, and it's hard to just say, hey, you know what? I come in as a very decent athlete and I'm going to go ahead and I'm good at most things I do, like phenomenal. I don't have problems with things when I do them. And now I'm having problems. And now you're going to go ahead and show me the way. To swallow that is something, especially at a younger age, being a bigger man, because it could have been easy for you to be like, you know what? I don't like cardio. I don't want to get like, I don't want to run. This is not going to make me strong. I don't want to do gymnastics. How many 200-pound gymnasts do you know? And it's not every day you find somebody like that, you know, and you were always willing to do it. And then also too, like your willingness to step up You know, I don't even know. Hey, Mikey hit me for my last one for the day. I don't even fucking know if you wanted to be a coach. I don't even know if you wanted to be a coach, but you're a great coach. And I know for a fact that you became a coach because you had the tools, you had your cert, and I needed a coach. And you fell into it in the sense that I said, hey, you want to be a coach? And then you were like, sure. And then you were like willing to go on this journey of coaching and learn, even though like it's your passion. And I don't want to say that it's like, well, you don't know. And that's not what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to say like, literally you were willing to commit yourself to something that, you know, I don't know why this guy's making me do this. And then all of a sudden, like it's because I was talking to Jillian about that, about like, oh, we got to get like coaches and this and that. And like, we need a girl. And I was like, well, you know, like Wes. And she's like, no, you just made Wes do it because we were pregnant. And I was like, yeah, poor guy. And he became a great coach, you know, and like that stuff doesn't happen every day, man. Like the willingness to develop and take someone's guidance or someone saying, hey, you could be good at this, you know, like this could be fun. Yeah. This could be something that could also develop other passions that you have, you know, in the course of a psychological, you know, idea of understanding people. What better way to understand them is through their body or through their spirituality or scientifically, you know? And so I just really have been taken by the process of your development into the culture of coaching and the culture of giving back inside the gym. And I always knew you would be good at it. And I was always like, oh man, I'm getting another Steven. He's going to be quiet, but I got to get him to speak. I got to get him to speak up. You know, I got mute Wes, you know, and you speak loud, man. You speak very loud, buddy. And when I say those things, I only say it because I know that I can really push you to almost teach me. You know, everybody around me always teaches me, and I'm blessed to have you, and the community is actually blessed to have you as a coach, as an athlete, as a individual that just works out there. I mean, you've gone through a huge transition. You know, you've gone from a heavy set Wes to a very lean, very bodied up Wes. You know, and that's something that doesn't just happen overnight. It doesn't happen through not dieting, not weighing and measuring, not actually sleeping and eating fitness. And I'm very, very proud of that. And that's something, again, that you don't find every day. And how old are you, Wes? How old are
29.
you? 29. Just
29.
know, just know that like you got another 3 or 4 years before you start backsliding. And those last 2 or 3 years or 5 years, you know what, 2016 you said? Yeah. The last 4 years, nobody will ever take those away from you, Wes. No one. And people will never understand what the fuck you're doing in the gym. No one. And I'm blessed and I'm very grateful for people like you. And I want to say thank you. 11. I was excited.
Thanks, man.
I was excited.
Thank you.
Man. Yeah, man. Seriously, I love you too. I love you too, man. That's something that like people will always let them think about. You could have took the fact that you were going to school. You could have took the fact that you had to work. You could have took the fact that you had to get another job. You could have took a lot of facts that told you, hey man, I can't train anymore. I could have took a fact that I had a pandemic, you know, like, and you didn't. And I'm pumped on it. So thank you for coming and talking with me tonight. Sorry I kept you so long. But I appreciate you, brother. Maybe I start a spiritual lunch or something like that.
No, here we go.
Once a week, I'm into it. Spiritual lunch with Max and Wes.
Yeah. I'm in.
Thanks, buddy. Buddy. Yeah, man. I really do appreciate it. And so on that note, Mikey, come back in here. Come back to me. On that note, I'll go ahead and close this out. Thank you guys. Thank the both of you guys. Thank CrossFit Costa Mesa. Thank all of you guys that have helped out. Thank everybody that's been there. I love you guys so much. You guys just do so much work, and just know that this what we're doing now is only going to get more and more of what we're building on, because we got a message, and our message isn't my message. My message isn't Alex's message. The message is CrossFit Costa Mesa's message. So now it's your message and it's our message. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped to push this message, and I'm pumped to push it with you, and I'm pumped to push it with the community that we have. And we're gonna have a phenomenal day tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be fire. I'm so excited for tomorrow. So excited tomorrow. Mikey, let's keep it a secret. Let's keep it the workout a secret, and let's keep this fire a secret. Dude, people are gonna be so good. I think we got all 3 classes booked. I'm so pumped. So pumped. Woo! 6 feet. Right, 6 feet.
Here we go.
I'll spray you with a water bottle. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Wes. Love you guys.
Thanks, guys. Love you guys.
Yeah, brother. He jumped out. Everybody always jumps out. Why they jump out? We close the studio. We hang out. It's like the after hour party. Why did they jump out? Damn it, Wes. He wanted to get out of there.